Today, let's take a look at the LG V30. This is Rivers with Tech Connect, and I want to show you my favorite features of the V30. I'll also compare it to my Galaxy Note 8 a little bit, and we can talk about a couple of the downsides of the V30 as well. Let's start things off with ergonomics. Ergonomics is basically the study of people's efficiency working with a phone. This guy is really nice because it's very responsive. Like when you drag your finger across the screen, it doesn't have any lag. It's very low latency. So this makes the V30 really easy to work with because everything's just nice and fast and responsive. Another thing I like much better on the V30 than the Note 8 is how quickly the V30 can rotate. As soon as you turn the phone, the screen rotates. This is the same as on the iPhone, and I actually turn off auto rotation on the Note 8 because it's so slow and frustrating. Another awesome feature that you find on LGs is tap to wake, and you can actually re-tap it to put it to sleep as well. But this feature should be on every phone. It's just so good. Probably the reason it isn't is because of licensing, but it's a great feature and I love the LG for it. I also love the fingerprint sensor on the back. It's great because you're fully covered. You got the fingerprint sensor to turn it on from the back. You got tap to unlock if it's sitting on a table so you can turn it on from the front. And the unlock pattern is more responsive and it's nice and big, so I find it much easier to unlock, and especially unlocking it one-handed. Here's another really cool feature on the V30. It's actually got its own built-in radio tuner and a radio app. All you need to do is plug in the headphone jack to use as an antenna, and you're ready to listen to your regular local radio stations. And here's a little secret that you might not know. A lot of phones with a Snapdragon Qualcomm processor in them also have built-in tuners, but the carriers didn't want you to be able to listen to radio because they want to push streaming. You can get an app called Next Radio, plug in your headphones, and you should be able to get local radio stations on phones like the Galaxy phones as well. The V30 also has really good recording quality, has multiple microphones to screen out background noise, and it has a recorder app to make high quality voice recordings. Hey guys, Rivers here with Tech Connect, and I am testing the microphones on the LG V30. It should sound really good. Let's go ahead and take a listen. And speaking of audio, the V30's got what's called a headphone jack. Now luckily, some companies were brave enough to remove the headphone jack, but LG kept theirs. Now the V30 has a quad 24-bit DAC. What does that mean? That basically means that you're going to have really good audio, and I've tried it and the audio is amazing. It is the best audio that I've heard on a smartphone yet. Now on the downside, the V30 only has the one bottom-facing speaker, which sounds okay, but once you hear dual speakers like on the iPhone 7, it's really hard to go back. Here's what the bottom-facing speaker sounds like on the V30 though. It's not bad. Next up, we've got the camera on the V30, and I think they really did it right on this one. You've got one regular angled camera and then one wide angle camera, so you can get, when you're indoors and you can get that nice wide shot where normally you would be zoomed in and you couldn't get far enough away. It works out great having this. And then really the highlight of the camera is the video features. Of course you can shoot 4K and 1080p at 60 frames per second and 240 frames per second slow motion. But what really sets it apart is the software. You've got a million different settings, a lot of pro features. You've got the smooth zoom, which I haven't seen on a phone before. You've got a setting where you can see your pictures up on the side of the new longer screen right after you take them. You could also do split screen and see what you've just taken on the other side of the screen. There's just so many nice settings that it's really nice to have. I actually like the software better than the camera itself on here. The V30 shoots really excellent video for a smartphone, and the still photos are really nice as well. Here are a few samples of still photos, and let's zoom in on these and see how the pixels look close up. So the photos look excellent. The quality is definitely there. My only complaint is that LG's rear and front camera add that skin softening effect, and you can turn it down, but you can't completely turn it off, and the front camera is especially bad with that. Now I'm going to compare the V30 to the Galaxy Note 8 in extremely low light conditions. So this is pushing the camera to the absolute darkest that it can go. And the screen, the Note 8 actually looks a little bit better. I think it actually turns the brightness up on the screen when it's in real low light situations. But when we actually look at the footage, take a look. So first we have the Note 8 here, and this is pushing the limits of what the sensor can see. And you can see it doesn't look very good. Now we have the V30, and I think it actually looks a little bit better. Still, it's so dark that it's really pushing the sensor, you can't see much at all. I'll add a little bit more light to the situation. I'm going to take the flashlight on my Galaxy S8 Plus and just shine it on the ceiling so it's just reflecting a little bit more light, and now you can see it's looking much better. And finally here you can see when the light actually hits the bottles for a minute, it looks really good again. And then again on the V30 here, it looks pretty good with the light on the ceiling, and when the light actually hits it, it looks perfect again. And finally, let me tell you about my experience with the V30 and how it compared to the Note. I really like the V30's form factor. The Note is a little too long and skinny for me. I like how the V30 is shorter and wider. I think that form factor makes it more usable. I also love that there's no Bixby button on the V30. I always accidentally hit that button and it's really annoying. The V30 only has a volume up and volume down button on anywhere on the side of the phone, so it's really easy to control the volume of the phone inside your pocket. In fact, you can reach through your pocket while you're listening to your earbuds and change the volume and be confident you're not going to hit the power button or some assistant button. And finally, I like that the V30 weighs about half what the Note does. I couldn't even go jogging with the Note, it would just pull my shorts down, it weighed so much. I think that Samsung actually adds unnecessary weight to the Note to make people think that it feels more premium and quality, but to me that's totally unnecessary, and I like the lightest possible phone. So to sum up my thoughts on the LG V30, I think I like it a little bit better than the Note 8. I really dig the form factor and usability of the V30, although the Note 8 does have a little bit better battery life depending on your coverage area. If you're in spotty coverage, the V30 is worse. If you're in good coverage, it might even be better sometimes. And in case you're wondering, the way I get those big icons is I'm using Nova Launcher, and then I just resize the icons larger. And that clock widget at the top is Zuper Widget. I made a custom widget there. Let me know in the comments if you want me to show you how to make a widget like that. Oh yeah, and one more thing. I tried a bunch of different cases for the V30, and I really liked this one right here the best. It's by a company called Turtle Armor, and what I like about it is it's nice and smooth on the outside. A lot of these cases from Amazon will have a sharp line where it was punched out of the piece of material, and this one is just nice and smooth. The material feels just perfect, not too sticky, not too slippery. I'll add a link to the Turtle Armor case in the video description down below, right next to my link to the V30. Alright guys, if you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure and hit that subscribe button down below and make sure and turn on the notifications if you want to know right away. Thanks for watching, and as always, aloha.